Gentlemen, in this video I'd like to talk a little bit about the ladyboys I know who are here in Australia, the lifestyle they're leading, and what this says about the marketplace here and there and my place in it. 2 weeks ago, as you know, I hooked up with a ladyboy via backpage.com. She's studying business and is here on a student visa, but is working in the cash, the black economy, which is illegal here in Australia. She risks getting herself deported back to Thailand, and she's breaking a number of Australian laws. Firstly, she's providing prostitution services without a license. Secondly, she's doing that in a residential area. Thirdly, I highly doubt that she's paying tax on any of the money she earns. And fourthly, she's working whilst on a study visa, which is strictly prohibited and can get her deported back to Thailand. She is not the only one doing this either. A search at backpage.com turns up a number of ladyboys from Thailand here in Australia who are doing exactly the same thing. The average price they're charging is around $300 an hour. You may have heard the expression dime a dozen before when someone refers to something so plentiful as to be valueless. If you think about the situation on the ground in Thailand in places like Pattaya, there are a lot of ladyboys around, and the prices they can charge for their services are around 1,500 to 2,000 baht short time, or 60 to 80 Australian dollars. Good money in Thailand, but given bar girls are a dime a dozen, so to speak, in Thailand, the amount of money they charge is not really that much for us Western men. In the marketplace in Pattaya, there are more sellers than buyers, and there's an oversupply of bar girls. The supply and demand situation heavily favours us Western men, and certainly even more so in low season. Now think about the situation on the ground here in Australia. Legal brothels are, generally speaking, a bad experience, and there are relatively few Asian sex workers in comparison to Caucasian sex workers. On Backpage.com, however, there are plenty of Asian sex workers offering an illegal but higher quality sexual experience at the same or a lower price than that charged at a legal brothel. Most of the sex workers are women, but a small percentage of them are transgender. The ladyboys on Backpage are rare, and the prices they're charging for their intimate services indicate they're in low supply and high demand. They have a much greater opportunity to make a lot more money here in comparison to what they can make in the Pattaya marketplace. The Australian dollar is worth much more than the Thai baht, and a ladyboy can make a lot of money quickly here in the Australian marketplace, which she can send home to family to invest in more land back in the village in Isan. I know of ladyboys that I originally met in Pattaya, who are earning over 4,000 Australian dollars cash a week as escorts in Australia. Big money, to be sure, and much more than I earn, and all tax-free. That kind of money buys a lot of land in Isan, gentlemen. Anyway, the ladyboy I hooked up with 2 weeks ago has made pornography before. That's originally how I connected with her. I was browsing Backpage.com and I thought her face looked familiar. That's when I put 2 and 2 together and realised that she was a well-known porn star. I sent her a friend request on Facebook about 6 months before hooking up with her, and to my surprise, she responded, and this gave me an opportunity to see her posts and observe the type of person she was and the lifestyle she was leading here in Australia. What I saw intrigued me. She posted many photos and videos of herself here in Australia out on the town, visiting upscale bars, nightclubs, restaurants, expensive high-end clothing and other boutique luxury stores, and even making frequent interstate flights to other states in Australia. Essentially engaging in activities, consuming products and services, and visiting places that I certainly can't afford. And I'm a highly educated and experienced computer scientist with a socially legitimate career earning an above average income. The lifestyle she was leading was certainly not the kind of lifestyle that an overseas student could lead without having very wealthy parents. And this ladyboy, from what I could see, did not come from a wealthy Thai family. There was nothing high-so about her. Most of her videos she took as selfies, and in the background there was always a different man trying to get close to her. It was obvious to me that she had a lot of admirers and attracted a lot of attention from men every time she went out. I want you to think about luxury goods for a moment. A luxury good is a positional or aspirational item, something a person buys to indicate to themselves and to signal to others that they're a certain class of person with a high income and or a high degree of wealth. It's a good for which demand increases more than proportionally as incomes rise. As people become wealthier, they will buy more luxury goods. Luxury goods are generally considered to be goods at the highest end of the market in terms of quality and price. Luxuries may also be services. The hiring of full-time or a live-in domestic servant, for example, is a luxury service. Have you noticed when you're in Thailand the obsession the bar girls have with associating themselves and their image with luxury goods and services? Wearing expensive clothing, expensive watches, carrying designer handbags, wearing high-end brand-name designer high-heel shoes, and smelling of Chanel No. 5. Frequenting expensive, upscale restaurants and department stores. Buying luxury goods and services with the money given to them in return for providing their intimate services to us foreign men. Remember, when we're talking about bar girls, and in particular about ladyboys, we're talking about a group of people with low social status who are accorded a low degree of respect by polite Thai society. By associating themselves with luxury goods and services, the ladyboys seek to obtain a higher social status or ranking within their society. It's arguable whether they are doing this by their achieved status or not. That depends on whether or not we consider the bar girls to have earned their social status and luxury by their achievements, which is only so if we consider having sex with farangs for money to be an achievement. What we can say for sure, however, is ladyboys have what is known as embodied status. That is, they have high status due to their youth, their beauty, and their desirable physical characteristics, which are appealing to us Western men who want to have sex with them. They're able to increase their embodied status by the purchase of luxury goods and services, which enhances their physical appeal and human capital. By doing this, they're packaging themselves up more attractively. In terms of merchandising, they're packaging themselves in such a way as to stimulate interest and entice us Western men to purchase their sexual services. I put it here that ladyboys in the Western world, due to their low supply and high demand, are a unique luxury good. They provide a sexual service that has rarity within the sexual marketplace, and due to this rarity and uniqueness, this service has high economic value. It's a sexual service that cannot be supplied by female sex workers, cannot be supplied by female Caucasian sex workers, certainly cannot be supplied by civilian women, so-called good girls, and given that the sexual service has rarity and uniqueness, the price that can be charged, the price that is achievable within the Australian marketplace, is $300 an hour. What kind of professions in Australia earn $300 per hour? I could find none, gentlemen. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the top 5 highest paid workers per hour are: number 1, anaesthetists at $124 an hour. 2, internal medicine specialists, $88 an hour. 3, other medical practitioners, $69.30. In this group, the ABS includes dermatologists, emergency medicine specialists, obstetricians and gynecologists, ophthalmologists, pathologists, diagnostic and interventional radiologists, and medical practitioners. Number 4, dental practitioners at $68.60 an hour. And number 5, mining engineers at $65.50. According to the Australian Tax Office, the top 5 highly paid occupations in Australia are: number 1, surgeons, $304,398 a year. Number 2, anaesthetists, $303,253 a year. 3, financial dealers at over $285,000 a year. 4, specialist physicians at around $266,000 a year. Number 5, judicial and other legal professionals at just over $216,000 a year. There are over 88,000 doctors in Australia. There's almost 20,000 dentists. There's over 66,000 lawyers and over 4,000 barristers. But how many Thai ladyboys are there in Australia? Thai ladyboy sex workers are able to earn more per hour than the most highly educated, highly experienced professionals in the most critical and socially important professions. If you think about this situation, it's perfectly rational in economic terms due to how rare these people are in the Australian marketplace and the high demand from some of us Western men for their sexual services. Services we can only otherwise get when we're in Thailand. How many of these ladyboys are working as legal sex workers? How many of them are working illegally and are available for the girlfriend experience? How many of them are aged under 25, stunningly beautiful, with the physical characteristics we Western men seek in them? From what I can see on Backpage.com, there are less than 30 with the right combination of youth and beauty, and less than a handful that have what I think it takes to provide a believable girlfriend experience. Think about that in terms of economics and supply and demand. Very low supply, high demand, high price. Youthful and beautiful ladyboys in Australia are a high-priced luxury good providing a rare and valuable luxury sexual service. They have almost no competition and an entire marketplace here to themselves. That means very high prices for their sexual services and a revolving door of Western men who are willing to pay those prices. The Australian immigration rules and regulations as well actually work to further restrict the supply of Thai sex workers, which serves to drive the prices up even further. It's very difficult for a Thai to come to Australia and work. It's illegal to work on a study or tourist visa, and it's illegal to work as a prostitute via Backpage.com. So the ladyboys who are here, who want to earn big money, have to break the law and work illegally. When you restrict supply of any product or service that's in demand, or make it illegal, you drive up the price. This means higher prices for consumers. In a normal marketplace, high prices attract competitors. More competition serves to drive prices down. This isn't happening in the sexual marketplace in Australia due to the high levels of government regulation and restrictions that are preventing the marketplace from working correctly. Even though the industry is legal in Australia and highly regulated, the illegal marketplace is where the real demand is, as this is where the best experience can be had. Prostitution is not considered a skilled occupation in Australia, and brothel operators cannot import ladyboys specifically to work in brothels here. They are generally brought in on student or tourist visas, and they work illegally, all due to idiotic government restrictions and regulations which cause distortions in the marketplace, ultimately resulting in us men needing to pay more than we would have to if the marketplace was opened up, immigration rules relaxed, regulations reduced, and prostitution was listed as a skilled occupation. The ladyboy I had sex with 2 weeks ago, her phone never stopped ringing, And even when she put it to silent, I could hear it buzz every time a message came through from a guy seeking her sexual services. It was obvious that she was in very high demand. Her demeanour and attitude reflected her high demand status. This wasn't like having sex with a ladyboy in Pattaya, where she was highly appreciative of my time and my money. This was a person used to asking for and receiving big money. The pretender sees lots of opportunity to make a lot of money in the illegal prostitution marketplace in Australia. For those of you who have met the pretender know that I'm a nerd, a Myers-Briggs type INTJ, the scientist or mastermind. If I turned to crime, I would model myself after my favourite movie bad guy.
Shit. Just give me my fucking phone call.
But at the end of the day, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to turn to crime to supply my fellow man with what he really wants? If, say, we had a street like this in Melbourne, where we could, firstly, buy alcohol legally and have sex in a brothel set up as a Thai-style bar with Thai women or ladyboys, which charged reasonable prices, say $1 to $150 an hour for a short-time sexual experience. Secondly, we could go to the bar and hire an escort for a few hours of fun. Thirdly, we could have an abundance of young, beautiful, highly skilled Thai sex workers here on a new type of visa, a prostitution visa, which was a recognised and listed skilled occupation. I can imagine a world like this, gentlemen. I'm sure you can as well. Why is it so difficult for us men to have the freedom and the sexual variety we seek at reasonable prices in the Western world? Why do I and the brothel have to break the law to be able to drink alcohol and have sex? Thailand doesn't have to have the monopoly on the bars and the experiences we men want to have. It could be brought to the Western world if the government regulations allowed it. The sexual marketplace here is ripe for reform. Over time, many items that were once luxuries like cars, air conditioning, computers, and so on, became necessities, things we can't live without. They went from being high-price items to being cheap and plentiful, and everyone has them. I can picture a street like Soy 6 in Melbourne, an affordable destination for adult fun with Thai sex workers available at reasonable prices. Although I don't believe the moral majority nor the feminists in power would want this here, and I can't see this happening anytime soon, unfortunately. So that means ladyboys will continue to be a high-priced luxury good in the Western world, pretty much priced out of my and many other men's ability to pay, except for very infrequent liaisons in between trips to the land of smiles. Till next time, gentlemen, all the best. I'm the Pretender.